once I get to start a video with genuinely good news. If you are a Canadian senior receiving OAS, GIS, or CPP, this July is bringing 3 real confirmed changes that could put more money in your account. I want to be upfront with you. These are not rumors, and they are not guesses, and they are definitely not the kind of vague promises you sometimes see floating around online. Every number in this video comes directly from the Government of Canada's own published payment pages, confirmed and dated, the same pages Service Canada itself uses to calculate your deposits. I know this channel usually covers warnings, clawbacks, and deadlines, and there is a reason for that. Those topics genuinely affect a lot of people, and somebody needs to explain them clearly. But today is different, and I genuinely think you are going to enjoy this one. Surprise number 1 involves a bigger deposit landing in your account this quarter. Surprise number 2 involves an annual recalculation that could raise your monthly support significantly, depending on your situation last year. And surprise number 3 is a permanent boost that some of you may not even realize you are entitled to simply because of your age. I am going to walk you through all 3 with the exact dollar amounts, the exact payment date, and exactly what you may need to do to make sure you actually receive the full benefit of each one. Stay with me until the end, because the third surprise is the one most seniors completely overlook. Before we get into it, if you are not subscribed yet, please do it now. Most of what I cover here is warnings about things going wrong, because unfortunately, that is common. But when there is genuinely good news like this, I want you to be among the first to know. Hit subscribe, turn on the bell. It takes 3 seconds, and it means you hear about the good changes just as quickly as the warnings. Surprise number 1 is the simplest, and it affects every single OAS recipient in the country. It does not matter whether you live in a big city or a small town, whether you collect the maximum amount or a partial pension, or whether you have been receiving OAS for 30 years or 30 days. Old age security is reviewed and adjusted 4 times a year, every January, April, July, and October, based on the Consumer Price Index, which tracks the cost of living. For the July to September quarter of 2026, the Government of Canada has confirmed a 1.2% increase. That might sound small on its own, but it brings the total increase over the past 12 months, from last July to this July, to 2.3%. In real dollars, this pushes the maximum monthly OAS pension for seniors aged 65 to 74 past $751. And for seniors aged 75 and older, the maximum monthly amount climbs past $827. Thanks to this quarterly increase layered on top of the permanent boost we will talk about as surprise number 3. This increase applies automatically. You do not need to call anyone, fill out any form, or take any action at all to receive it. If you are enrolled in direct deposit, you will simply see the larger amount appear in your account starting with the July payment, with no extra paperwork on your end. If you still receive your payment by check rather than direct deposit, the same increase still applies, though you may want to allow a little extra time for Canada Post delivery before checking whether the new amount has arrived. And one important reminder built into this increase: OAS amounts never decrease, even if the cost of living were to fall in a future quarter. The most that can happen is the amount stays the same. It can never go down because of this particular adjustment mechanism. Surprise number 2 is the one that genuinely surprises people, because most of the conversation around this particular July recalculation tends to focus on the risk of losing money, not gaining it, and I understand why that focus exists. I have made videos myself warning seniors about exactly that risk, because it genuinely affects thousands of people every year. But almost nobody talks about the mirror image of that same mechanism, which is exactly as real and exactly as automatic, just pointing in the opposite, more welcome direction. Every July, Service Canada recalculates the guaranteed income supplement for every single recipient, based on the income reported on your most recent tax return. Most of the warnings about this recalculation focus on what happens if your income went up, because that can reduce or even suspend your GIS. But here is the surprise. If your income in 2025 was actually lower than it was in 2024 because you retired further, lost some part-time work, or simply had less investment income, your GIS payment could go up starting this July, automatically based on that same recalculation. For a single senior with no other income, the maximum GIS payment for July 2026 is confirmed at approximately $1,109.85 per month. Combined with the maximum OAS pension, that brings a low-income single senior's total monthly government support to approximately $1,852. If your 2025 income genuinely dropped compared to 2024, this recalculation happens automatically, and you do not need to apply separately for the increase. But there is one important condition. This only happens if you actually filed your 2025 tax return. Without a current return on file, Service Canada has no updated income information to recalculate anything, whether the news would have been good or bad. So if you suspect your income dropped last year and you have already filed your 2025 return, simply wait for your July 28th deposit and compare it to what you received in June. If the new amount is meaningfully higher, that increase is likely tied directly to this recalculation, and it will continue at that higher level for the rest of the benefit year. If you are married or in a common law relationship, the maximum monthly GIS amounts differ slightly depending on your spouse's situation, but the same underlying principle applies. A genuine drop in your household's reported income can mean a genuine increase in your GIS payment. This is genuinely one of the few moments in the entire benefit system where a lower income in the previous year works directly in your favor, rather than simply meaning less money overall. Surprise number 3 is the one I most want you to pay attention to, because in my experience, it is the most commonly overlooked of the 3. Back in July of 2022, the Government of Canada introduced a permanent 10% increase to the OAS pension specifically for seniors aged 75 and older. This was not a one-time bonus payment. It was a permanent structural increase to the base OAS pension itself, and it continues to apply automatically today, in 2026, and every year going forward. If you turn 75 at any point and have not specifically checked whether this 10% increase is reflected in your payment, this is worth verifying directly. Here is exactly how it works. The month following your 75th birthday, this 10% enhancement is applied automatically to your OAS pension, with no application required. This enhancement is also indexed alongside the regular quarterly cost of living adjustments, meaning it grows along with every other OAS increase, including the one we just discussed for this July. And importantly, this 10% boost does not reduce or affect your guaranteed income supplement in any way. It is simply added on top, with no offsetting reduction anywhere else. If you are already 75 or older and have been receiving OAS for some time, this should already be reflected in your monthly payment, but it costs nothing to confirm. Log in to your My Service Canada account or call Service Canada directly at 1-800-277-9914 and simply ask, "Can you confirm the 10% age 75 enhancement is included in my current OAS payment?" This particular enhancement is one of the more generous permanent improvements made to OAS in recent years, and because it happens so automatically and so quietly, it is easy for it to simply blend into the background of your regular deposit without you ever noticing the specific reason behind the size of your payment. Taking 5 minutes to confirm it, even once, gives you genuine peace of mind that you are receiving every dollar you are legally entitled to under this specific enhancement. Let me bring all 3 of these surprises together into one simple checklist. Step 1. For the quarterly OAS increase, there is genuinely nothing you need to do. Simply watch for the larger deposit arriving with your July 28th payment and compare it to June. Step 2. For the GIS recalculation, confirm that you have actually filed your 2025 tax return. If you have, and your income genuinely dropped compared to 2024, watch for a larger GIS amount in that same July 28th deposit. If you have not yet filed your 2025 return, do it as soon as possible, because without it, neither a decrease nor an increase can be properly calculated. Step 3. For the age 75 enhancement, if you are already 75 or older, call Service Canada at 1-800-277-9914 and confirm the 10% increase is properly reflected in your current payment. And if you are approaching 75 soon, simply make a mental note to check your payment again the month following your birthday. None of these 3 steps require a lawyer, an accountant, or a complicated process. 2 of the 3 happen completely automatically, and the third is a single, simple phone call. Write the July 28th date somewhere visible, perhaps on your calendar or your refrigerator, so that when that deposit arrives, you know exactly what to look for and exactly what each part of the change might mean for you. I want to end this one on a genuinely happy note, because that does not happen as often as I would like on this channel. This July brings a real, confirmed quarterly increase for every OAS recipient, a possible GIS increase for anyone whose income dropped last year, and a permanent 10% boost for everyone 75 and older that is easy to simply forget about over time. None of these 3 things require you to fight the system, appeal a decision, or prove anything complicated. 2 of them happen entirely on their own, and the third takes a single phone call to confirm. If you know a senior who might not have heard about any of this, a parent, a neighbor, a friend, share this video with them directly. Good news travels slower than bad news, and I would genuinely like more seniors across Canada to know their July deposit might be a little better than they expected. It genuinely takes very little effort to forward a single video link, and that small effort could mean someone else discovers a few $100 extra they did not realize were coming their way. If this video helped you today, please subscribe. I cover both the warnings and the genuinely good updates exactly as they happen all year long. Thank you for staying with me through all of this. I will see you in the next one.